This video will walk through the process of changing the IP scheme of an existing KeyDigital 4K AV over IP system using the System Editor tool in KeyDigital Management Software Pro. The KDMS Pro System Editor tool is compatible with KeyDigital's 4K AV over IP products, KD-IP822ENC encoder and DEC decoder, KD-IP922 encoder and decoder, and KD-IP1022 encoder and decoder. In this scenario, we have an existing KeyDigital 4K AV over IP system with IP scheme 192.168.1.x. However, the job site needs to change their IP scheme to 10.0.0.x. Additionally, the client has replaced one of their HDMI video sources with a third DirecTV box, so we need to update the naming within the system file. We will use a network cable to connect our Windows PC with KDMS Pro into the AV over IP network, and we will enter all of our updated settings in KDMS Pro's System Editor tool. As you see, the System Editor is a table allowing us to enter all of our desired settings in one place, much more efficient than updating one by one in each unit's property window. Of course, this requires KDMS Pro software be loaded onto your Windows computer, and since KDMS Pro does not install on your computer, please do not remove the application from its folder because it requires access to all of the other resources in that folder to work properly. Once you open KDMS Pro, press Scan, Network Scan, and KDMS Pro will sweep all available IP addresses to find the 4K AV over IP system. After the network scan completes, we see that all 3 encoders and 3 decoders have been successfully scanned. The green coloring of the text in the device tree indicates that all units have the same system file loaded. We can now select the AV over IP System tab and choose AV over IP Editor. Because all KeyDigital 4K AV over IP units have the stored system file loaded, we collect the system file from each unit. Enter a name for the retrieved system file and wait for the file to be collected. Again, the Editor tool retrieves the system file from all encoders and decoders. After the system files are retrieved, the 4K switch configuration file editor window opens and all crucial system information is visible. We see unit ID number, the main IP address of the encoder-decoder, the video IP address of the unit, and the unit's friendly name. Now we may edit our settings as desired. As mentioned in this system, we need to update one of the cable boxes to become a third DirecTV box, so we enter an updated input name. This means that the other units in our system require the updated system file to be loaded to each unit. But we also see in the status cell that the encoder 3 requires a setting update to be loaded into the unit itself to load that name change. Now we update the IP addresses for the encoders and decoders in our system to the new 10.0.0 scheme. Remember that 4K AV over IP products from KeyDigital require 2 IP addresses per unit. And the System Editor tool prevents us from causing IP conflicts within our AV over IP system. Once we have entered our new IP addresses and any other settings, we can press the button to save file and update switch. KDMS Pro now updates the settings for each encoder and decoder while simultaneously loading the new system file containing information about every other unit in the system. This ensures the system acts as one cohesive unit, not as many independent nodes. When the System Editor tool has completed, we see all units with the green cell coloring and a ready-for-use status descriptor in the table. We also see the check mark which says all devices successfully configured. Now it's time to confirm the updates on the new network scheme. I update the TCP/IP v4 settings for my computer's Ethernet port to the 10.0.0.x scheme. We still have use the following IP address selected, and we enter an unused IP address for our computer and the .1 IP address for our default gateway. Press OK twice to close out of the two dialog windows, and we see the Ethernet port identified with its new settings. Back in the KDMS system editor, we press the exit and rescan button after ensuring that all units have had about 2 minutes to reboot themselves after the recent file load. If our computer is connected to multiple networks, in this case I am connected to a Wi-Fi and a hardwired network, I could choose which network I would like to scan, the 10.0.0.x network. The scan takes approximately 1 minute to complete, and now we see our scan result with the updated IP addresses, the updated name of the DirecTV3 for the encoder 3, and that all units have the updated 3x3 system file loaded.